win for farmers and consumers. Australia and Korea's new trade deal.
A family's unspeakable grief, the terror of Aleppo, under fire from barrel bombs.
And a mercy mission with a difference. Trapped miners refuse to be rescued.
This is SBS World News with Anton, Enus and Janice Petersen.
Australia's economy could be boosted by as much as $650 million a year once a free trade agreement between Australia and South Korea is formalised.
2 months after negotiations concluded, details of the deal were today released. While consumers seeking new electronic goods and cars look set to benefit, the big winner is Australia's beef industry.
Australia has a long economic history with South Korea. In 1989, Bob Hawke sparked the idea for the APEC concept in Seoul.
The Prime Minister is refusing to comment on claims that a payout of almost $900 million to Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation was the single largest factor in the federal budget blowout. Treasurer Joe Hockey revealed in December there'd been a deterioration in the budget bottom line, but blamed it largely on the previous government's profligacy. The rebate, one of the largest cash payments ever made by the tax office, followed the restructure of the company, in which no money changed hands.
The approval rating for opposition leader Bill Shorten has fallen 11 points from November to 40%. The Prime Minister Tony Abbott's rating also fell by 2% to 45%. The coalition's ahead on a two-party preferred basis, 52% to Labor's 48%.
A group of armed locals on Manus Island have crowded parts of the perimeter of the island's detention centre. The facility's security forces remain on high alert inside the compound. It's in response to yesterday's riot, which saw 19 people seek medical help.
And coming up later, the high cost of immunisation and how it's hitting Australia's migrant communities.
The Royal Commission into Institutional Child Abuse has been told a Queensland school principal encouraged a parent not to let the school, not the police, handle abuse complaints against a teacher. The inquiry, which is meeting in Brisbane, heard neither police nor government child protection officers were told about any complaints brought against the teacher by 13 girls at the school between 2007 and 2008.
More than 100 people were slaughtered in Nigeria when Islamist gunmen stormed a mainly Christian village. It's part of the ongoing violence that has claimed thousands of lives since 2009. Here's Greg Navarro.
The latest attack happened in the state of Borno in northeastern Nigeria, not far from the border with Cameroon. Government officials say members of the Islamic militant group Boko Haram, dressed in military uniforms, stormed a predominantly Christian village in trucks and on motorbikes.
You're watching SBS World News. Coming up next, Europe's cash crisis, a flood crisis rather, how communities in the UK are bracing for the next onslaught.
Shortly, deadly sermon. What went wrong for the snake-handling star of an American TV show?
And later, why access to fresh food is a problem in a state usually prized for its culinary delights. Flood-ravaged communities in the UK are bracing for waters to rise once again.
Some towns across the country are beginning to use innovative new techniques to hold back the water.
In a matter of hours, a United Nations report into human rights abuses in North Korea is due to be released, and Janice is expected to outline some pretty horrific experiences.
Indeed, Anton. Leaked extracts make for horrific reading as North Koreans celebrate the birthday of former leader Kim Jong-il with special ceremonies. The country is about to be condemned for crimes against humanity. It's accused of starving and killing citizens.
Up next, Craig Foster with sport and Back to the Future. The Socceroos' new World Cup kit unveiled ahead of this year's gala event.
Also, Australian actress Cate Blanchett takes another top honour, this time at the BAFTAs. To the finance figures now, and the Australian share market has gone higher, buoyed by local earnings results and offshore gains. The big four banks were mixed, with the Commonwealth Bank trading ex-dividend today and closing more than 2% lower. The retail sector was also mixed. The Chinese credit growth caused the local mining giants to trade broadly stronger, and official data showed that new car sales retreated by 3.5% in January.
Tokyo's Nikkei rose after gains on Wall Street and as investors digested weaker than expected Japanese growth data. The Australian dollar is holding above 90 US cents as improved confidence in the US economy boosts riskier assets and is mostly higher against the other major currencies. And on the commodity markets, both gold and oil, as you see there, are higher.
Well, time now for all the day's sports news with Craig Foster. And Foz, a bit of poor weather about Sochi right now.
There was, Janice, and Alex Pullen's attempt to win Australia's first gold medal at this Winter Olympics has been, well, put on ice. And finally, Football Federation Australia has today taken a decision to extend the licences of the 9 Australian clubs in the A-League until 2034. The current licences of the clubs had an existing term running until 2020. And that's the day in sport, guys.
Great. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Foz. Coming up, the weather and top gongs for 2 Australians at the British Film Awards.
Weather authorities in northern China have issued another haze alert for the 3rd straight day.
Visibility was less than 500 metres in some cities. Despite the poor visibility, highways have not been affected and traffic seems to be flowing as normal. It's thought fireworks from the recent Lantern Festival contributed to the smog. As we go to the forecast now, a low in the north is generating thundery showers across the tropics. Another trough over the east is triggering some heavy rain and storms in Queensland and northeastern New South Wales. A high is keeping the south dry. In the major centres, scattered cloud across Hobart, Melbourne and Canberra. Some showers in Sydney, Adelaide and Brisbane. Looking further afield, drizzle for Auckland, thunder in Nadi and showers for Tahiti.
In Southeast Asia, it'll be fine over Phnom Penh. Rains on the way for Port Moresby, Jakarta and Denpasar. Storms in Singapore. Heading further north now, and there'll be scattered cloud about Hong Kong, Tokyo and Manila. Rains on the way for Hanoi and Shanghai. Drizzle in Taipei.
Heading west, fog for Delhi, fine in Mumbai and Baghdad, a few showers over Beirut, cloudy conditions for Tehran and Jerusalem. To Europe now, fine in Belgrade, Warsaw and Athens, a few showers for Stockholm, London and Paris, drizzle in Madrid.
To Africa now, and there's thunder in store for Lagos and Johannesburg, rain for Casablanca and Addis Ababa, a few showers to hit Nairobi. Across to South America now, where there's scattered cloud in store for Lima, Bogotá and Buenos Aires, fine in Panama City, Santiago and Asunción, rains on the way for Rio.
And for North America, fine for Mexico City, Havana, Los Angeles and Miami. Cloudy over Vancouver and Toronto and snow for Chicago. Recapping our top stories now, the federal government has released details of a free trade agreement with South Korea. Once formalised, Australia's economy could be boosted by as much as $650 million a year. The big winner, our beef industry.
And the co-pilot of an Ethiopian Airlines flight hijacked en route to Rome has surrendered to police. He's seeking asylum in Switzerland.
That's the world this Monday. More news at 10:30 on SBS 1.
And of course you can get all tonight's stories online and news around the clock at our website and follow us on Twitter. Good night.
Good night.